Hello, welcome YouTube, and welcome to my masterclass. I have set myself a hard timer. I'm going to keep looking down. I'm going to do this in 20 minutes, so it's going to be fast. I'm not going to cover it in depth. I'm going to give you an overview, and there's plenty of information. I've made plenty of videos in depth on part of these modules. So, what's the purpose? I'm going to actually. You can probably see this just the way we want to see it. So, the purpose of this masterclass is selling your home to achieve the highest possible price in the shortest possible time frame. My name's John McConnin. Now, I'm not going to give you a big background. Let me just say I was a real estate attorney for a bunch of years. I worked on residential contracts, and I was defending brokers. My first trials, I was wanting to be in trials all the time. I was defending real estate brokers because they were getting sued like crazy right after I'd gotten out of law school. So I learned all about residential real estate contracts. I mean, all about them. And then I had a house that went up in value. There were tax breaks coming out, and I'm like, wow, that's a lot of money. Let's take this money and go to Florida. So we put our home on the market. I wanted to sell my home and capture the most money because I wanted to be a real estate investor. We tried to sell it ourselves. I learned from eventually hiring a realtor, and instead of trying to go one contract at a time, it was much better to have a 7 or 10 day process where you were going to review all the offers at the end of that time period. It worked amazing. Buyers were telling them, I was pretty sure they're going to buy at this price. We wound up paying the realtor's fees and making a little bit more money after doing the process. I was impressed so much, I became a real estate agent too. Eventually, California Association of Realtors asked me to train realtors in how to negotiate multiple offers. And now, with the way the internet is, online pricing is, the way the markets are now moving so fast, it's changed everything, and the best model for sure now is that model, whether you do it a round robin bidding process if you're doing it without a realtor, or you're doing an auction model where we're accepting offers and then you're going to pick the strongest offers on Sunday night or Monday after the auction weekend. And well, I'll get into it more. So that's the background. So here's how it works. The takeaway should be that starting offers are much better than listing prices. I've seen it and I know it. Sometimes buyers know their home is worth more or realize they could pay more, or the process, just a round robin, a bidding process, shows them prices could go much higher, but they're emotionally anchored to that listing price. So you don't want to start with a listing price. Now, if you go up on the MLS, you put it there, but then you quickly explain starting offers start here. It's an auction. You just blast away that listing price. If you're not using the MLS, then it's starting offers, starting bids. And now, in the difference between the auction that I'll be discussing today and most of the other home auctions that you may have seen on the courthouse stairs that are run after foreclosures, even some, but not all the other auction companies, is I'm like, this is a seller's market. Why would you give away your control to the buyer? Why would you give away your control to the realtors in the realtor process? Why not keep control? And that's what this process is designed. You do not have to accept any offers. You don't even have to, unless you deem these offers strong enough to begin negotiations with. And it's not binding on either the buyer or the seller until a contract is negotiated on Monday. More on that as we go through this system. Remember, selling for the highest price is about the buyer seeing the true value of your home rather than having that value anchored around a listing price, and letting the buyers compete with each other so that the strongest buyer emerges, rather than the traditional realtor process where so frequently 75% of the homes are receiving multiple offers right now, and so frequently the winning bid is the one working with the listing agent because the listing agent gives that person the inside track on the purchase or the information they need to not have to outbid. I know this for a fact. When I was buying my home, even though I'm a broker, I was working with an agent in my office because I know he's good. He was talking to a listing agent. I was in a bidding process, and Phil taught the listing agent, saying, look, John is getting chased away. This is not going on forever. John needs to know the number he's going to get this home or it's going to be over. And I got the home for $2,000 more instead of $20,000, which I was maybe thinking about. So what we'll cover today, pre-marketing preparation, marketing your home online to the most motivated buyers can now be accomplished without the MLS. In fact, that's where the realtors go. They go to Zillow and buy their leads. They market on Facebook to find, you can target the buyers who are looking for homes in your area now. Those are where the buyers are. The MLS, our realtor websites. In fact, I just switched from expensive IDX site because I wasn't capturing leads. Leads go all over. Now they go to Zillow, they go to Trulia, they go to Realtor.com, they go to all over, and they check your website because they're all looking for deals. But I was like, why am I spending hundreds of dollars a month? And I just got a less expensive IDX. It was pointless now competing with Zillow and everywhere else, especially because when it's cheaper rather than spending the money on my IDX. I can just go to Facebook and buy those leads. I can get leads for $3 to $5 a lead. In fact, you may be seeing this on Facebook, and I may have, or YouTube. Okay, so that's the way the market's changed. Online pricing data is empowered buyers. Realtors are no longer needed, especially buyers, realtors. Now, we're going to discuss, well, you can see what we're going to discuss. So the pre-marketing prepper. This is module number 1, pre-marketing and preparation of your home for sale. Now, determine your home prices. Okay, so how do realtors, banks, and lenders determine fair market value? Well, when I'm working for a client, I still go and I check Trulia, I check Zillow, I check the realtor version that I consider the best. I've made it available at times in the course. The courses that I've made, it was on the net, but because I switched websites, it's not there. But it will be back someday, and I'll talk about it. So you want to use the realtor data, the tax data, and you want to have a good pricing algo, so that if similar homes recently sold, you'll have an idea of what the price per square foot is of similar homes in your area, and then you'll compare and contrast your home. In appraisal terms, we want to figure out what the anchor price is for your area, and then compare and contrast and figure out why your home may be better. If you improve the backyard, does it have more bedrooms? That's how it's done. Now, what happens in reality is, for instance, where I live in Poway, older homes that have not been redone go for about approximately let's say it's 300 at the time you're seeing this, a square foot, whereas finished homes might be going for 350. And as homes get bigger, they frequently go for a little bit less square foot because some of the value is in the land. So yeah, the other thing that I do as a realtor is I'd like to get a total market overview. So all the homes sold over the past year, not just the last 3 months. The last 3 months are the most relevant. And I want to know the different price ranges because sometimes there's anomalies. Like, let's say the only homes that have sold in this price range are homes that needed to be remodeled. Whereas below you and above you, they've remodeled homes and your home's in great shape. Well, we're going to price closer to that remodeling home. So you want to have a total market overview. Then you want to use that price per square foot. Then you want to compare and contrast. That's the short of it. I would definitely go to Zillow. I would definitely go to all the online homes and get an idea of what they're saying, because that's where a lot of you're also going to get an idea of where the buyers, lenders are going to be. And then you can determine if your price gets way above those online prices, then you're going to have to be looking for a different buyer, a buyer that's got cash, or a buyer that at least has the cash to supplement a down payment. So let's say in your price range, most buyers have to put down 20%. Well, you're going to need a buyer that can put down 25, 30% if you're trying to go well above those algos averages, because that's what banks are doing now. Appraisers let them go a little higher, but they're always tied to that price, which is part of the reason why the market's been going up for years. And homes have been underpriced. That's what this system's trying to get around. Now, I believe, as I said before, you want to start with a starting bid or a starting offer and not be tied down to that stumbling price. Now, some of the biggest stumbling blocks to top dollar offers are nervous buyers. So if you can knock out their objections by having your home pre-inspected and pre-repaired, an explanation of which repairs you chose not to make, be upfront, totally honest. Well, just be transparent. Make the buyers feel confident. I would also get home warranties. Those are like $500 a month. You say the home warranty is going to be part of the package. I would pre-disclose everything. Have it right there in your package or your weekend auction package. And it can help if you make the front of your home look pretty nice as people walk up. And you might want to consider paint and carpet, although that's not necessary. Any repairs more than paint and carpet and decluttering, I'm not so sure you're going to get returns. You could talk to an expert about that. Staging can work, but that's part of the declutter. So you want to prepare your home for market. If you knock out all those buyers' objections, if they can feel at home when they walk in the door, you're going a long way to getting that top offer. Now, it can help if the person running the auction and the people greeting have confidence in the process and your people feel transparent running the show. It doesn't have to be a realtor, it doesn't have to be a real estate lawyer, but you need to have confidence in the process. And if the buyers know you have confidence in the process and they have confidence in the process, you're a long way there. Now, one other thing, it is a pinch. Some buyers want to work with experts. I would make provisions in the process for spending a few $1,000s on an agent or a lawyer to make that buyer comfortable so he can feel comfortable with the process. So he understands he's got 17 days to inspect your home. He's got financing contingencies. If you might not be selecting on that buyer, but that's part of the process. Now, module 2. However, okay, this is the fun module. Now, I just doing this for this video even. On YouTube, you can go to an audience, the in-market real estate audience. Now, you can select on that in-market real estate audience, and you can also drill down into other things. It's so easy to target your data. So I would take a video walkthrough of your home. I'd explain why you're buying the home, and you can either explain the process, or you can drive people to your website where you explain the process more with information. That will be your choice. Same thing on Facebook. Facebook lets you select an audience. I would pick an audience of Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia. If you've got favorite websites and Facebook has them, that's your audience. And I'd exclude real estate professionals, people who broker in their title and things like that. And that would be an audience you create. Now, you put a nice picture of your home, and then you say, this home is going to be sold if it's this weekend, or you may want to set up 2 weekends out, probably not a holiday weekend. And then you would say this home will be auctioned to the strongest bidder or the highest bidder. The bidding process will be non-binding. The winning bidder will have an opportunity to negotiate exclusively with the seller to come to terms on a contract on the Monday after the auction process. Now, there's some other things, but that's the point. You're making your home. You're explaining that you in there. I would say there's going to be no buyer's realtors because we don't want our listing realtor or we have no listing realtor, but the point is this process is fair. It's going to the strongest bidder. There's going to be no self-dealing between a realtor and the buyer that they're working with. So if you're the most motivated buyer, you'll have an opportunity to work with us to buy this home. Period. Well, not period. Then you give information about how they can get more information. Either go to your website or give you a call. Now, the other thing you could do if you're working with me, instead of me having to manually go put your and Zillow, you can put it up for sale by Zillow. You can have open houses in there. You want to do open houses. You want to do the marketing. You want to put it on these major websites. For me, because I'm comfortable with the process, we get all the, the lawyer in me doesn't want to make mistakes about your disclosures. We do all the pre-disclosures. I get the information about your home. We do the home measurements. I put them in the MLS system. That MLS will broadcast it all over to the major websites, Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, agent websites, which aren't a big deal. And but most interestingly is I'm only going to offer $10 to the buyer's realtors. Now, I have a program where we'll go over it optionally. You may, if a buyer's agent can prove they're worth to you, you may want to compensate a buyer's agent, but not automatically. They have to work for it. Not on the MLS. We're putting it up at $10. That's allowed. Realtors, the major realtor brokerages are getting sued by class action lawyers. No one's going to, and I've read the local rules and I know it from having seen it in the past. We're going to put it up for $10, but I'll talk to you about, if you're working together, I'll talk to you about how you can really use it in your favor. Otherwise, if you don't want to see a buyer's agent compensated ever, I'll just leave it there as $10 and let it broadcast all over the net, and it saves me time. But it's not really necessary. You can do the manual work, or your agent if they don't want to put it on the MLS. You can. The strongest buyers are not being found on realtor websites. They may be there sometimes, but they're going to be on the major online portals, and big data is going to find them. Now, pricing your home, starting bid versus listing bid. Well, if you're working with me, I suggest we figure out how a realtor, an appraiser, and a bank is going to price your home. So we know that's sort of the reference price. So you know if you're going above that reference price, you're going to need stronger buyers. I think you also, when you're starting this, you should know what your ideal price is, where you would be willing to sell if the rest of the terms are correct that you negotiate. Then I'd also want to know my ideal net, because you're going to be saving. We're not compensating buyer's agents, most likely. So you're going to be saving 2 or 3% right there. You're probably saving money off the 2 or 3% listing fee with me, especially if you're one of my case studies early on. And I would also select your starting bidder offer. I think I've discussed the other things that sort of make sense. The starting bidder offer, I've seen in the past, just because I've been aware of this for a long time, a lot of people say you should start off your auction with a ridiculously low bid. In fact, Let me see if I still have that book. I became aware of this 20 years ago. This book, I once sold my home. I think I told you earlier as a FISBO, and I started with the principles in this book. Now, this guy likes to start I think it's 30% below the market price to get people really interested in a deal. I disagree. The market, and he may too if he was still printing books. The market price, buyers are so aware of the market price now. They don't need to see something ridiculously underpriced to realize it's a price. In fact, they get suspicious. The smarter buyers get suspicious. The seasoned buyers who know what prices are supposed to be, they get suspicious. I've even seen it when my wife is looking at homes. She gets fooled by a price that seems good, but if it's way too low, she's like, that's crazy. And I know if a price is even 10% below, it's either a foreclosure, where a short sale, or the agents already have buyers and they lower the price to just bring in more buyers, or it's someone trying to run an auction model of old style. I believe you start off $10,000, $15,000 below. If you're going to be on a website in Zillow, see what Zillow says. If the price is reasonable, go $10,000 or $15,000 below. It says starting price $15,000 below this estimate. If you're on, if you're doing it, you can customize it. If I'm doing it, I'm going to talk to you about going, say, $30,000 below. Depending on how clearly we can define where the models would have your home. I like to go lower, and I'd like to say below these estimates. I would still say below this estimate, the Zillow estimate. I want people to know the starting offer is an opportunity. And we're going to talk about the opportunity to have their pain ended. They're going to know by the end of the weekend, really by Monday, if they're going to purchase this home or not. And experienced buyers, they're the ones who are going to jump at this because they're already starting to realize they're going to lose out. They've been losing out to multiple offers. So this is a price magnet which not many buyers are going to be refusing. Now, we're coming up. I've got 2 more minutes to finish this up. So the paperwork. Well, let me just say, I was going to go into this, but if you're not working with a realtor and you're in California, First Tuesday forms, which I've been watching and used on and off for years as reference, and it's now, I think the website's RPI, but if you type in First Tuesday forms or RPI forms, there's a free set of forms in there with some pretty good information, so they'll help you buy and sell a home if you're not using the realtor forms. But my caveat is you really want to use the forms that your experts are working with. So you want to talk to escrow. Escrow should probably be, if you don't know personally your local escrow and title companies, there may be a little bit of risk. When I was selling my own home, the escrow place seemed to have closed down over the weekend. My money, I was worried, was gone. I had to threaten them. I said, look, you'll never have a license again if I sue you for fraud. So just get me my money. And all of a sudden on Tuesday, they were up again and made a bunch of apologies. So I just say, go to a big publicly traded and NYSE traded company, talk to their escrow department, see if they're comfortable working with people in your situation, what forms they're going to need. Use those forms, set up a model, have them along with your disclosures, a model contract, the rules, have it all laid out so that you're making it very simple for the buyers. I'm going to have more on this soon. That's my alarm. That was my 20 minutes. Now, I think we just went through that. Was this my takeaway slide? Okay, so one of the other things is you have to make sure in your marketing pieces and in your forms that the buyers understand that it's a non-binding bid, that they're bidding to have the right to negotiate with you on Monday, and that price is not binding on you or them, but it's to show you who can be the strongest buyer, who's the most motivated, so you can work with them. And the advantage to them is they're gonna win. If they're the strongest bidder, they're going to win. A realtor's not going to self deal against them. We just talked about that, how to remain in control. Selecting the strongest bidder. Let me just give a quick run through. When you see a really strong buyer, let's say he or she is a top 1, 2, or 3 buyer. Let's say you need flexibility because you're looking to buy another home. You might want a buyer, it's a cash buyer or one that can close in 17 days. And during the bidding process, when you first tell them what's going on and where their bid was, and then you're going to start the bidding process, you find out how strong they are, and maybe you reserve them on the side and you let the other ones bid until they get to your strongest bidder, and then say, look, we're going to have one more round. This is the finalists, and let's go and prepare your bidder ahead of time. I've had more on that on other videos. Tools and resources are going to be available on. Eventually, they're not there yet. So, if you'd like to apply to work with me to see if this strategy will work with you, and if you want a really good deal and be a case study, not that you have to be on camera, but so I've done this process over 100 times. I've sold over 200 homes. In fact, let me just show you. This is a picture, a snapshot from Paragon or MLS. Let's see if I can make it bigger. You see it's 25 homes for sale per page, and there's 6 pages. And the 6th page, last time I checked, was all but full except for one. And that's just San Diego. I've sold dozens and dozens of more homes in Orange County, LA, Riverside, and even in Northern California back when I was really selling a lot of homes all over the state, in part during the short sale crisis. So if you're interested in selling your home with this model, and especially if you'd like to be a case study, so we can do it, if you let me document the process with your address in there, as I do in videos for the course that I'm creating, then I'll do it for a really low flat fee. But if you'd like me to sell your home and you don't want to be a case study, just set up a strategy session, find out your goals. I'll tell you what we can do and what we can expect. I'll see if your home and you will work well with this process, and you can decide if you'd want to work with us. Now, I wanted to, I got to do this really fast. So, yes, you can sell your home before the auction. Let's say you pick a 3-week marketing period and you take in an offer then that's so good you just want to sell. You can do it because we're going to maintain the flexibility in our wording and in our contracts. If your home does not sell at the end, let's say you pick a 7-day one before you want to go work with a traditional realtor. We try it for 7 days. That's your pre-marketing MLS. It brings awareness of the market to the situation. You'll get an idea. If you've got 25 people coming through your property and we're soliciting bids and we do the Sunday night process, you're going to know where the market is. That will help you with the process. The home won't be a surprise on the market. It's a great way to go pre-realtor. Plus, if you'd like, if you've been working with me, I can refer your listing to any agent you pick, seek a referral fee, and I will split that referral fee with you. So just contacting me, you're going to save, could be $5,000, $10,000, depending on the price of your home and how much referral fee we seek. I've never had a listing referral turned down. Never. As long as we're under 50% of the realtor fee. If you're at 30%, that's so traditional, it's virtually 100% with just about any realtor. We just covered that. If you're working with a realtor or an agent, I'd accept bids on the weekend and written offers during the week and just tell everybody we're going to be looking at them Sunday night. We're going to rank them. We're going to give them an order to go through the bidding process, and we're going to sell to the strongest bidder. If you're not working with an experienced person, I would get a sample contract. I'd keep it simple. I'd take price and a few other terms so the Monday negotiation is legit. So I'd leave out a few terms, maybe 2 or 3, and say this is a sample offer we're planning to work with. So the main thing is the price, and we'll discuss timing and other things. Highest price is not always the strongest bidder because you may need a bidder who can be flexible in helping you locate and purchase a new home. You can talk to me about setting it up so you don't even have to look contingent on the purchase. I've sold homes where buyers did this. You can do it without lying. You don't even have to check cash buyer box. And if you have a buyer that can close in 17 days because they've warmed up and they're giving you a few days to look for a home, like a month, you could be in great shape. So set up a free strategy session. Thanks. Happy selling. John McConnin, winnerscheck.net, or click the buttons to learn more. Thank you. Bye. It's free. My strategy session will be, it's set up for 30 minutes. It doesn't even have to last that long. Thanks again. Sorry I went a little bit over my goal, but I think I came pretty close. Thanks again.